Hello? Hello? Hello?
90% of the funds that are available from the federal government are available to take children. 10% to help families. So the proportion is completely out of whack. The children are being abused. We need to pass a law. It was called Child Abuse Protection and Treatment Act, CAPTA. What it did was put together a federal pattern that was required to be adopted by each state if you were going to get the federal cash. They couldn't pass it fast enough, and then their hands were out and have stayed out for the last 30 years. It's all money. Money is the locomotive that drives child protection. 90% of the funds that are available from the federal government are available to take children. 10% to help families. So the proportion is completely out of whack. Then, under President Clinton, another law was signed which finished the job, called Adoption and Safe Families Act, ASFA. That law set quotas for the states to sell these children at the end of the foster care lease period. So now we have a lease sale deal going on with children. So now we have a lease sale deal going on with children. So now we have a lease sale deal going on with children. And the quotas, if they are exceeded, allows the state to get even more cash. For good measure, if the state can falsely declare that the child is a special needs child, in other words, if you give them drugs, which almost all children who are stolen into captivity are drugged, then they can increase the funds even more. Double, triple, quadruple. A colleague of mine calculated that a really useful child could bring as much as $250,000 to the state.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. Today I'm not here representing any group. I'm here on behalf of my Father, the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm coming here today to bring you the truth. All that I heard today was a problem, but today the Lord has showed me what to give you people so we can clean it up. Number one, I think the problem is that many times when we are ordered by the court to go to different services, whether it be child parenting classes, anger management classes, you have your judges and other officers of the courts sitting on the board of directors. We need to go to Washington and outlaw that practice. Once they're no longer sitting on the boards of the services that the courts are mandating you to go to, and you take the money out of it, they will no longer make a slave out of you. Number two, what we need to do, we need to ask Washington to stop allowing them to run phony nonprofits in our private buildings. Many of these nonprofits are being utilized to launder your tax dollars. I believe what is happening today is that we have limited ourselves to only CPS cases. What we should have done, we should have moved against the whole court system. Because what happens is it's like a balloon. If you're over here squeezing CPS, it's jumping out over here, family court, criminal court, probate court, so they got you. What I like to do today is show different individuals from different states how to go back and investigate your case for intrinsic fraud and non-disclosures, and once you're able to come up with a package like I've come up with their bank accounts showing that the money's not going to children, but in fact it's going to country clubs, cash, jewelry stores. Once I show you that they're operating like they are in LA County, they're running a private corporation in our courthouse in the finance department. When I show you that many of the facilities that you're going to are not even registered and nothing but those corporations to generate money, then we're going to come together, and then what we need to do, need to do a national taxpayers lawsuit against the United States of America. What we need to do is show how they have misappropriated our money and made slaves out of the people, how they have used our money without vote of approval. What we need to do is stop again focusing. We're going to look at it like this. This is the court. From the court, CPS, family court, criminal, hit them all. We need to attack the body. Stop looking at one tentacle. That's what they're doing. and now they're facing 25 years of life for 3 strikes. Never did a thing. What about those people? But if we're just focusing on one entity, this is why we have enough people here to fill a phone booth. This place should be full. Right now, as I stand here before you, I tell you, because I want to help the people. I spend my money to come out here to give you direction. I come out here to show you how to have every case in your state reopened based upon intensive fraud and non-disclosure. I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this week to open up 30,000 foster care cases. Not only did that, I opened them up, they went on to say 50% of the kids could have stayed home. They admitted that they did it for the money, and they targeted the poor people. Now, if I could get Los Angeles County to do that, the largest trial court in the nation, I can come to Michigan, I can come to Alabama, Louisiana, because they're all working in the same. Now, we want to talk a little bit about Michigan. I am the lady who has busted Michigan down to its feet. Michigan is a terrible state, starting with your governor, who has operated a governor's task force. They have made it whereby you have no win. If you look into Michigan, you will see that your judges, your social workers, your so-called expert witnesses are all sitting on nonprofits that the courts are mandating you to go to. If we know and you know that the whole thing is about money, whether it's Title IV money and any of the other grant monies, what we need to do, we need to stop them from being able to sit on the boards. I want to give you a last point in case that I found in your wonderful state of Michigan. And the state of Michigan, you have a doctor there by the name of Wagener. She is one of your expert witnesses, not only in children's courts, but in criminal courts. We discovered that she has an x-ray of a baby with a skull fracture. This lady is going around from court to court pretending that that's your child, putting your child's name around this x-ray, taking your children. Come to find out, when the lawsuit came up, they moved her from Michigan, now she's in Florida. I'm sure she'll be using that same x-ray. The bottom line is it has nothing to do with your CPS. They're looking for any excuse. They're generating any excuse to pull you into the court. Because every time they pull you into a court, there is grant money tied to that. Every time you use a public defender, there is grant money tied to that. So what we need to do, we need to rethink our thoughts and say, look, forget, just like in the 60s, they knew it was segregation, but they didn't say we're just going to handle the water fountains. They didn't just say we're going to handle the